Hello and welcome to a new show that I have not yet named, but it will have a name. I thought about some crappy names yesterday. I really need to find a name for these shows and stuff. Okay, and basically in this show what I'm gonna do, which you will see actually how it's named in the title on YouTube. Uh, I'm always gonna talk about something else. This is basically gonna be my show and I always just talk about stuff and while some gameplay is running in the background. So in this particular episode I want to talk about NDAs or non-disclosure agreements because I'm actually playing a bit of End of Nations last few days, and it is in alpha, and alpha is under NDA. So basically what non-disclosure agreement means is you cannot talk about it unless it's lifted, because uh, basically if I said anything now, if somebody finds out that I told it on the internet, I'll basically get my account terminated on Tryon and the video will be taken down, and also probably my channel, so I will not be very good about it. So the non-disclosure agreements, they are sometimes good because, of course, I mean, those are never good for the customers, because that's something that the company set, so their products cannot be reviewed on or shared on internet before they are released to the public. But it is kind of shitty because they exist, because in some instances, like you see in these alphas, this alpha is practically public. Anyone who signs up for it can get into it, and most people who sign up for it will get into it. So it's not like something that is pre-released and those are only press copies, which, okay, when they are press copies, it is logically that you cannot talk about it, maybe 3 days before game is out, or non day game is out, the NDA only lives. But in this instance I have a feeling like it's a cheap trick to get people to play the game, because if you cannot find any information on the internet, you see the gameplay in the closed beta, before the game was remodeled and stuff. So you see that gameplay on the internet, and you want to see the newer gameplay, and you see that you cannot, and you go and download the game. I have a feeling that is that sort of cheap trick now in the End of Nations. But I mean, it is a trick, I mean, the game is that trick. I mean, curiosity, who can fight it? You go and you play the game, you like. But this what we have an End of Nations is pretty unique situation, because you don't play games in alphas that usually, I mean, that will be a free-to-play game, and basically usually the NDAs are put on the firm release date. So like most of the games you see that you have to pay for, and they are simply out in one day when they are released, and that's where NDAs actually serve their purpose, because basically press, I mean, not every press, but the press who is actually good at their jobs, unlike me, they get the game copies few days before the game is released, and then they're NDA to only maybe like 3 days after the game, before the game is released, or basically there is NDA all up till the release. And this sort of that is a understandable NDA, but it is not a good NDA, because if people have, let's say, a week to think about, if the NDA is up week before the game is out, that's only that people have a week to think, do they want to buy this game and pre-order it? Because as you can see now on Steam and stuff, games are being given like a pre-order bonuses and stuff, and if the NDA is like a week up, then you already know how the game is gonna be. It is as good as you're looking at it on the release day, and only that you can make the decision and get the pre-order bonus. So that would be like if we live in an ideal world, but we do not. But well, the stuff is stuff, and that's how the world is. So, but the same agreements can be pretty abused, as we saw in, let's say, Alien Colonial Marines, which was a game that was falsely advertised, and the NDA was up the whole time. As we all know, the game was shitty and not to par. It was like, it got like from IGN and everything like a 3 out of 10, so it was pretty bad. And the way that they actually sold the game and made profit is that they basically made a good trailer, which was in a game, and they did a demo, which demo also wasn't in the game. And after they did it, people were pre-ordering. There was no pre-release copies or anything, and so when people uh, basically pre-order a game and they couldn't, when the game released they saw that the game was shit. So that's pretty grim that you saw. I mean, this pretty bad title to use, because that game actually, as we all know, I mean, most of us know, it was even shipped to other studios. There was a lot of drama around that, but still people cannot find it. I mean, especially press can fight it, the NDAs, because if someone breaks the NDA, they will not be sent any review copies anymore, and they will be fucked, and they will just become sort of shitty YouTube gamers like I am. So it really isn't like, it is sort of a grim situation, because the press, they cannot do anything about it. Sometimes they, I mean, press sometimes even knows they get the game, let's say 5 days in advance, and they know that the game is bad, but they cannot tell it, because if they tell it, their career is over. I mean, because not everyone is in a position like me that this is like a project that they will never succeed in. I mean, there are guys who are making like $1,000 a day in the YouTube, and they are really not in a position that they just want to throw it all away for some to get people informed. I mean, the best they can do, they can wait for the second the game is released and upload the video. Then, and hopefully the guys that are gonna wait for some reviews, they will see that the game is bad, but still the guys who pre-order video games, they will be fucked. But just don't pre-order video games. That is a silly idea. I mean, why the fuck would you pre-order a video game? What? Because you get a special gun? I mean, what, you want to have a special gun, but not have $50 in your pocket that you would really need? Because really sometimes this video, they give you like some stupid pre-order bonuses that you actually do not need. I mean, what they let you become OP in a single player game, and you actually lose all the fun, because you're just having a too easy of a time, and you're not really experienced the game that was supposed to be experienced. So usually stuff like that actually backfires on you, unless it's like you get a bonus game if you order that game. But I mean, how good is a game that other game that you're given if you're given it for free? Probably not very good. Or of course the game that you are buying is very bad, so they are giving you some instinctive to buy the game. And that is pretty much all that I had to say on the topic, and I will see you next time, probably for a review, or I mean for a look at MechWarrior.